Because in this business, unless you're making calls and making offers and talking to sellers, it's gonna be tough to get deals. It's a day in the life of a real estate investor, man. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. This is gonna be another day in the life, selfie style. I don't think I've done a video selfie style yet, so we'll see how it goes, how I do. But we're getting the day started. It's 9 a.m. We're heading to the office. We got a few meetings. We gotta drop some stuff off on the way in. Let's go. Another rainy day in Oregon today. So I'd say this is probably the biggest downside of being in the Pacific Northwest is when the weather sucks, it sucks. It's super gloomy, it's depressing. And so imagine when you get consecutive days, consecutive weeks of weather like this. That's where people talk about in the Pacific Northwest, seasonal depression. Because it's a real thing. It just makes you lose motivation. It makes you not want to be outside. It makes you want to be like just at home all day. So you have to be actively fighting it or talking with people who are like, hey, let's get out, let's do something, let's go hoop, you know, community. But luckily we've been pushing each other more this year to actively fight it, but it's tough sometimes. Truthfully, we're heading to the office now. We're gonna have a long, good day. We're gonna make sure we stay focused on every aspect. All right, so we're in office now. Typically the first thing that I always do every time I come in is just basic admin stuff, right? Checking emails, taking a look at what's kind of on the schedule for today, any immediate phone calls that we need to do. That typically takes me about 45 minutes or so, depending on how much I have to do. Then from there, the day's kind of different, right? One thing I'm working on right now is trying to come up with a daily schedule that I can follow, that I can be more consistent with. Because right now I'm still a little bit all over the place. So I'm kind of leaning towards something like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. is gonna be like, hey, go hoop, read, journal, breakfast, that type of thing. Get to the office around 9 to 9:45 will be all the admin stuff that we're doing right now. And then from there, 9:45 to 11:30-ish, just prospecting. Because in this business, unless you're making calls and making offers and talking to sellers, it's gonna be tough to get deals, right? That's the only way you get deals, is talking to people. Maybe if you're not doing direct to seller marketing, you can talk to wholesalers, agents, other investors, but deals aren't just gonna fall into your lap. Yeah, you could get on wholesaler emails, take a look at them, but those deals aren't always gonna be the juiciest. So you have to be, in this business, you have to be proactive and not reactive. That's how you're gonna be able to beat out everybody else. Let me share something that I'm working on with you guys. We currently own a lot. It's technically 2 lots. Combined, one lot is almost 10,000 square feet. The other lot is about 2,500 square feet. So combined is about 12,500. But the current zoning is zoned R1, which means that a lot needs to be 7,500 square feet for you to build a single family or put a manny on there. So for us to have 2 lots and split it, we need to have 15,000 square feet technically. But what we're doing is I spoke with the planner, had multiple long conversations with him, and he's like, hey, I think you could get a minor variance to work. So this is a minor variance application. So basically we're gonna apply for the lots to be split in half, so about 6,250 square feet with what we have, and we're gonna apply for variance saying that, hey, we want to be able to put a lot on here. And so obviously I need to go through all these requirements, do all this. One thing that I'm using is I'm using AI, right? I'm using ChatGPT to kind of answer it and give me a solid answer so I don't have to think as much. Obviously you just have to double check everything and add on your own thing and make it a little bit more personable. If this ends up working out, right now the current lot, even with both of them, the way it's set up, it's probably worth about 175. If we're able to get this variance approved and get the property line adjusted, each lot now becomes worth 150 to 160, right? So basically we almost double the lot value because we're able to get 2 lots out of 1, and we're able to put two manufactured homes versus just 1 with a big lot. So that's what happens, you know, because a few months ago I tried having the same conversation and they told me no. But that's what happens when you're able to just keep following up and talk with different people, and they'll give you different answers. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes, did some computer admin work. My acquisitions guy pulled up, caught up with him because I hadn't seen him in a few days. So now what I'm gonna do is, we have about 45 minutes before we have to go to an appointment. I'm just gonna be hitting hotter prospects within what we use, REI Sift. So these are prospects that we manually have pulled out that we think have a higher reason to potentially want to sell. While we do use smartphone and we do use click to call, in this case I'm using Google Voice. It's free, I can text from it, and so I'm gonna be making some hotter prospecting calls and seeing if anybody will pick up and maybe generate a lead. Hey Carol, this is Ben. I'm gonna send you a text right now, but feel free to give me a call back. Would love to get a chance to catch up with you. Thanks. We're gonna send her a text now, because remember, right, these people don't know you, so you have to make it seem, on Hotter Prospects, we wanna leave voicemails, we wanna send them texts, because even if they respond saying not interested, then at least we can move on to other people who may potentially be interested. I said, hey Carol, it's Ben. So now the goal is hopefully she'll respond saying something like Ben who, or hey Ben, what's going on? Then that's when we pitch. Either we try to hop on a call right away, or if she doesn't respond to that, we send her a text saying, hey, it's actually Ben reaching about your property, yada yada yada, you know. That is not the right number. Who marked this as right number? Interesting. In this case, in our system, someone marked it as a correct number. Let me show you guys. In this case, I'm trying to get a hold of this guy, right, Johnny. This number was previously marked correct. So imagine we've called this guy 16 times, right? This is why data is super important. Whoever marked this number correct, we had all just been assuming that this was the correct number, right? So we called this guy 15 times, but it turns out this number has been wrong this whole time, right? So we just wasted 16 call attempts manual on this number. That's not even the correct number. So in this case, I mean, this is a good one, right? We're gonna add this to deep dive board. I'm just gonna be making some calls for the next 40 minutes before we head out. We're supposed to walk a property at 11 a.m. An appointment that he set up for fire damage. He's looking at the pics right now. And we wanted to get in there before the listing, but she already listed it.
I agree with you. I don't think it's a tear down. But yeah, so just talk with the agent on that one we were supposed to walk. She already listed it, which is, you know, it is what it is. And she priced it way too high.
Yeah, way too high.
She said she had a contractor come out, and a contractor said that he was trying to figure out if it was a tear down or if it was salvageable. They thought the property was salvageable. She also mentioned that, hey, we just put it up for $299. I told her my offer was going to start with a 1, and she wasn't scared of that at all. She says, I have no idea what to list it for, to be truthful, which is kind of interesting thing to say as a realtor. But yeah, I told her, hey, let me give you a call back, let me run some numbers, and we're going to give her an offer. It's probably going to be around like 175. We'll see what
maybe
she says.
lower. There's a 3-1.
Maybe lower.
Our 3-2 that we're gonna go back on is 377. So we got to run our numbers for a 3-1. Let's send it to Zach for comps.
Yeah.
Obviously he's gonna see that it's listed, which is not a problem. But so you guys can see, here are the pictures, right? Like look at this fire damage. Definitely not a tear down. It's just gonna be a big rehab. But remember, look at this. It's a 3-bed, 1 bath. So this is the only bathroom, less than 1,000 square feet. The ARV is not gonna be too high. But this is good because we're gonna list another fixer ourselves, not in the same town, but in the same county, and it's a smaller county. We're gonna list ours like around 170 in way better condition than this. So that's good for us. But we'll probably, you said 175?
Yeah.
No, I think we need to be around 150. No, even less than 150, honestly. It's a full new gut interior.
It's a gut.
Yeah, and then all this exterior stuff too. I mean, this is a full everything.
125?
To start off, yeah.
Yeah.
And if she says, why so much? Be like, hey, look, this is a $130,000 rehab for me. You do the math, that puts me at 265, 275, whatever the math is. And I think it's only worth 350 is what I would say. So we're dialing right now. And one thing we're trying to do is cold calling is getting harder, right? Whether you use a dialer, whether you're manually dialing, just people aren't picking up the phone, especially if you have iPhones, right? With all the new settings. The mailbox is full, so let's send them a text. So cold calling is just getting harder in general. So what does that mean? It means obviously it still works, but contact rates a few years ago used to be like 15 to 20%, right? So if you called 100 people, 15 to 20 people would pick up. Nowadays, it's about 4 to 10%, right? Depends on how optimized you are. And this is from what I've seen from a few other people. Obviously, some people's contact rates will be lower, and some people will just be super good where they don't even share their numbers because whatever they're doing is working. So cold calling is getting harder. On top of that, with AI, I've already seen some companies start to implement like AI cold calling, which right now it's only version 1, which is not the cleanest, but honestly, I could see it becoming pretty good. And if it becomes pretty good, then all you'll need to do is, it's just going to be so hard to stop, right? Because you can't beat a robot. They could call 12 hours a day nonstop. They won't get tired. And then from there, you just have it transferred to your real life acquisitions or whoever else. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I think there's just a lot of phone fatigue, right? Over the last few years, people have been getting blown up with phones, texts. Again, not to say it doesn't work. It definitely does. But it's just gotten harder and harder recently. So we've made phone calls already for the last 30 minutes. We haven't had one answer. So we're still going to call another 10 minutes or so. Then I'm going to hop on a call. We had an appointment to go to. That's canceled. So instead, I'm just going to hop on some calls before I go pick up my lunch. All right, so I'm about to hop on a quick Google Meets call. It's going to be be with Gabrielle. I think you guys have seen her before in the vlogs. It's my girlfriend. She manages my content. She's kind of been on me a little bit because we've had some content planned out for some YouTube, some short form, and honestly, I've just been slacking. Making content is tough. Maybe you're not in the mood. Maybe things aren't going as well as you want them to. You just don't feel like getting in front of the camera at that moment. So honestly, making these videos, making short form, it's a grind, honestly. So we're hopping on a call. We're gonna have a quick meeting talking about what we need to do because we have not shot content in a few weeks, and it's not because of her. It's because of me. I keep pushing and delaying it. So I need you guys to make sure to like and subscribe. Get me to 1 million views to make it so I can have a dopamine hit. So I can keep making content for you guys. But yeah, let's hop on this call before we go pick up lunch. And then we end up scheduling another appointment for Jovi, our acquisitions guy, to wholesale a Manny that he has under contract. So maybe we'll take you guys there. Here we are. The battery's about to die, so I have this one charging, and so I'm gonna turn off the camera for now until we replace the battery. Time to grab some lunch. Doing some Jimmy John's. Got this for free. We just had Jimmy John's. I didn't take the camera in with me. We just ate there. The reason why I had Jimmy John's is because I actually saw a TikTok last night about free toasted sub. So I acted right away and I was able to order a free sandwich. And anytime it's free anything, if I can take advantage of it, I will. So we were able to get a free sandwich. We're pulling up to Jovi's 12:30 appointment right now. This is a Manny in a park that he is wholesaling himself. It's his own deal. He's got under contract for what, 25?
25.
He's got an offer for 35, but he had told this group of buyers 55. Obviously, if he's able to get it, great. So we're gonna go in there. I'm gonna try to bring the camera with me if they're not there so I can show you guys the property. If they are there, we can talk about it after, but we'll see how it goes. Here at the property, got the lockbox set up. So here we are, man. What's the details on this?
3 bed, 2 bath. As you tell, needs a full rehab. We figure the buyer's going to be either flipper at a lower price, but maybe an owner occupied, maybe an elderly couple. You know, it isn't a 55 plus. That's what we're looking for.
It's not in terrible shape, honestly. I turned the corner and this shoe was like that. I couldn't see it. I thought that was someone laying on the ground.
This was not here before.
What was not here?
He had posters like all over.
What a guy. That's old people for you, man.
One here, one there you can see. Look at that.
Oh, so they all got taken down? It's a day in the life of a real estate investor, man. That's what we deal with. So now we're gonna have the buyer show up. Joey's gonna take the charge since it's his deal. I'm just here for support to make sure he also doesn't say anything he shouldn't, because he's an acquisitions guy, right? He's not a dispo guy. But this is the perfect opportunity for him to learn, grow from this, and hopefully dispo this deal and make a quick buck. But in this industry, it's important to know a little bit about everything because that will all be good for any future deals. So break it down for him. How did the walkthrough go? Did you get an offer?
So
break it down for him.
No offer today. You know, it's a lot different when you're showing a house to a flipper or somebody who wants to go in and flip the property versus somebody who's wanting to owner occupy it. We knew going in needed a lot of work. They were really wanting to emphasize on that. Another thing that's kind of interesting is a lot of people don't know, and it kind of shows you the reality, is that everything in a real estate transaction is negotiable. And the potential buyer who was walking it talked about the belongings in the property, and I told her it was an as-is sale, and she wanted to tell me that no, it's actually the seller's responsibility to take care of the belongings in the property. I just thought it was kind of funny. Kind of shows you the reality of real estate sometimes, that a lot of people don't know what you can and cannot do in a real estate transaction. So
give you guys some context on that. It's a Manny in a 55 plus park, right? So you're gonna have 2 buyers, a flipper or someone who's gonna buy in it to live in it, or for a relative. In this case, this was an owner occupied buyer. She was an old lady, 3 old ladies, like legit, like all mirror images of each other, and they all were walking like, oh, this needs to be fixed up, this needs to be this. But like he was saying, he had told them it needed work and it was as is. We'll see if they give him an offer or not. Obviously we're hoping he does, but if not, like we said earlier, he already has an offer at 35. So if they don't come in higher, he'll go with the flipper offer where they already know what to expect. It'll be an easier transaction and there's no questions asked type of thing. Just getting back to the office. It's windy. Yeah, this is rain for me, right? I showed you guys earlier in the video it was raining. Now the sun is out. Beautiful day, clear, and this weather's amazing, right? Like the sun comes out here, we're coming in, you just feel everyone's energy changes, everyone's mood lightens up. But the thing is, it's still pretty cold out here. But we're back in office. We're gonna put in a few hours of dedicated work before we end the day off with some hoop. So back in office, I have 3 Google Meets calls today with my original employees. So one individually, I'm gonna hop on one right now, just catching up, checking in on tasks, just seeing how everything's going on. Hey Alejandro, how are you? I'm good. How is everything going? All right, so we just finished 2 Google Meets calls. I got 1 more with Julian, and we're just gonna check in, see how everything's going, and then we're gonna get back to it, maybe make a few calls, I'm not sure yet. My main focus right now is to work on these Google ads, because we gotta start generating more inbound leads, and that way I can start implementing it and learning it myself. Why am I learning it myself versus outsourcing? Is because in the past, I've paid Facebook ad agencies. I haven't paid Google ads agencies, but I'm not a fan of the agency model, right? They just take your money, all they do is set it up for you, and then that's it. They're not on top of it, they don't care. You're just monthly recurring revenue for them, and that's it really. Like I've gone through so many different agencies for most marketing methods, and it's way better if you can bring it in-house, do it yourself, or eventually teach someone to do it for you, because people in-house are gonna care way more than whoever you outsource it to. You're just another customer for them. So that's why it's super important to, if you can, try to do it yourself, or bring on someone that is very trusted and reliable that can help you grow. Hey Julian, how are you? I'm good. How's everything been? So this is a call that Jovi just had.
Henry, stop!
You guys should be able to listen to this.
Probably the next few weeks, just before closing, but yeah, we're still looking good. I tried calling Henry twice now, and I wasn't able to get a hold of him. Did you guys
Henry's the neighbor.
talk with him about the stuff on the side?
Hey, Henry, stop! For what, Henry? You. What is your issue, Henry? I did. Hey, take it away, Puto. You're an idiot.
He's being an idiot.
That's crazy.
Oh, you're there with him?
So that's the deal. We're closing in a few weeks. Jovi was checking in. Henry's the neighbor. He has a lot of stuff encroaching our property line for the deal we're buying. And so we've been trying to get a hold of him and also have the sellers get a hold of him, because supposedly they had a good relationship to get some stuff, to move his stuff over to his property line. But they're just cussing each other out. So not the best thing we want to hear or see when we're checking in, but we're going to get back out there next week, in about 2 weeks before we close, just to double check and confirm. And that way, if the neighbor hasn't started moving stuff over, we can always try to delay closing, or I don't think a price reduction will work with these guys, but at least delay it or try to figure something out. We're leaving the office now. We're gonna do some work from home. Gotta get going real quick. Gabrielle needs the car instead of the truck. She doesn't want to be driving the truck, so I gotta take the car back to her, finish off the day working from home, then we'll end the day with some hoop. But man, what a beautiful day it turned out to be. Look at this weather in the spring, summer when the sun's out. Beautiful. All right, so it's 5 o'clock. She's gonna be running some hills because she's marathon training. So I'm just gonna be on the laptop while she trains. Yeah.